The problem with platforms like N8N, OpenAI's Custom GPT, and Claude's Model Context Protocol is that they still require a steep learning curve. To become an AI automation consultant or a one-person business who uses AI automation regularly, you have to go through technical challenges and adapt to them in order to build a truly custom and useful AI agent. I wanted to create a system that makes it seamless for creating highly customized and highly powerful AI agents from day one, regardless of your technical ability. And I see this as a big thing because the AI automation consulting market, AI automation specialists, developers who focus on AI agents, and one person businesses who want to build their own AI agents are all going to be booming markets moving forward in 2025. I believe that 2025 is indeed going to be the year of the one person business who leverages AI and automation to grow and scale their operations as well as their sales. That is why I have created the Second Brain operating system. Hi, my name is Umair Kamil, and today I'm going to show you a complete infrastructure to go from zero to AI agent with literal copy paste. In this process, there will be no coding involved. In this process, there will be no low coding involved. And in this process, we will also skip the no code to build a powerful knowledge centric AI agent from day one. I'm giving you access to the Second Brain OS Custom GPT building feature. It's a very straightforward, no fuss, hassle free, and completely no code way to build AI agents that work right inside of ChatGPT. I mean it, right inside of ChatGPT. What that means is you don't have a new monthly subscription, you don't have to switch away from your favorite AI tool, and you have nothing to worry about because it's hassle-free and works the way you already do. It feels natural, it feels easy. We're going to get straight into it. So first, you're going to look for this email called Added a Feature, OpenAI Custom GPTs. And you can press the button over here. It will open this page that you see on your left. The one that says API schema, creating custom GPTs with Second Brain OS. And the video that you're watching is, of course, here, right? The other way to access this is to go to your dashboard and just click on setup link against the OpenAI ChatGPT icon over here, and it will take you to the exact same page, right? Once you're done, you just want to make sure to copy your API key over here, and you want to make sure to download your schema, right? And when you download it, you can name it to something like my agent or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to call it my agent and my name, right? Once you're done, you want to head over to chatgpt.com, and then we can just click over here into GPTs. And over here, you're going to press create, right? And you just want to head straight to configure. Now, I strongly recommend upload a picture of yourself because this will be an AI agent dedicated to you. So I'm going to quickly find a picture of my own. That works. I'm going to call it my own name. In this case, I'll add V2 because I already have one of my own running. And then you can leave the description, the instructions, and conversation starters. You can leave all of these empty. And then most importantly, click on create new action. And this is where we start to really configure your custom GPT. Don't get intimidated. It's very straightforward. All the hard work is done. First thing you want to do is press this settings icon next to authentication. Press API key then, and then make sure to press bearer over here, and then just paste the API key that you copied earlier, right? Just to note that API key was over here. It's also on your dashboard. Let me show you where that is. Right over here. Your API key is also on your homepage or dashboard as well. So you just want to make sure to copy, and then make sure to go here, make sure to paste, make sure that it's there, save. All right, perfect. Over here it says schema. So we're going to go and open that document that we just downloaded. That is exactly what a schema is. And let me just open it over here. Now that you have the schema open up, make sure to copy all of it and then just go over here in the schema section and paste and then press format. And voila, the Second Brain OS actions are available to you. The next quick step that you have to do is add secondbrainos.com/privacy policy. Make sure you add it as an HTTPS. OpenAI requires that whoever is giving you such a platform, an agent building platform, any automation thing, they give their privacy policy transparently. And I've done the same. So you enter this, and just to be clear, my privacy policy in general, I have a retain as minimal data as possible kind of policy, but you can have read of it and come back with any questions. So my goal is to provide you value while minimally retaining data. Wherever I can choose not to retain your data, I choose not to retain your data. But again, you can have read of it and come back to me whenever you want to. Now I have some great news for you. Your AI agent is officially ready and you can run it. So I'm going to show you how to use it. So remember when you purchased workflows or packs of prompts on the Second Brain OS platform, maybe you purchased an AI agent, maybe you purchased something else. In any case, you probably have gotten some workflows. These are packs of prompts. So I'm going to say, what workflows do I have access to? And so now what it's going to do is going to contact the second brain OS and get your workflows. And it's gotten all of these. And so what I'm going to say is I'd like you to now crawl the text of this video. So let's get this video by Greg Eisenberg. It's on something related to perplexity. So I'm going to say I'd like you to now crawl text of this video and await further instructions. Now use the crawl text action with the URL of this video and get the text of it. So let me show you how that looks. It's making a request to crawl text. And where is the response? Here's the response. It's all over here. So yeah, now fetch the workflow for rapid punch Twitter hooks. Fetch the prompts for, and then run them on the text of the video. Now what it's done is it's gotten all of these prompts that were stored against this workflow, and now it's going to run them against the text that it got from that YouTube video. And all of this happened in just like 2 steps, right? So it's identifying the pain points itself, it's identifying the emotional state itself, and then it's going to write out the Twitter hooks. For example, what I thought would make me successful: building the perfect AI workflow, closing deals with Fortune 500s, outworking everyone on my feed. What actually makes me happy? Finding one AI tool that actually does what it says, like mine. Shipping content without overthinking, getting a DM from someone who got value. Everyone chases the first list, but it usually ends in disappointment. That is not a bad tweet at all. Feeling stuck? Run your business with Perplexity Labs for 1 week. No industry tutorials, no comparing dashboards, no feeling like you're always catching up. Just you, your ideas, and execution. It works every time. Hacks. 5 hacks for better AI-powered business growth. Stop chasing every shiny tool. Master one. Repurpose your best ideas across formats. Use storyboards for viral ads, not just movies. Let AI do the data mining. Focus on human connection. Create a dashboard for everything you do. Turns out the only real business hacks aren't really hacks at all. Not bad again. You also get access to running your own AI agents inside of Claude. This utilizes what's known as the Claude Model Context Protocol. You've probably heard of this term. It's very hyped up. It's very buzzing right now. It's short for MCP, Model Context Protocol. Essentially, MCP is a simple way for all AI models across the world, especially Claude, to communicate with tools that exist already. To things like Notion, Todoist, Mondays, Jira, Slack, whatever. All of those tools can easily work with your AI agent because of something known as MCP. And the second brain OS makes this process even easier and even smoother. So today I'm going to give you access to the second brain OS MCP server, which connects directly to your Claude and allows you to have an AI agent running as per your customization, as per your requirement, right inside of Claude. The end result is similar to what you saw in the Custom GPT. The process is a bit different. So first, what you want to do is head into your email and search and find this email which says added a feature Claude MCP for you, right? Now you can click this button, or alternatively you can go to your dashboard and you can just click on this one, setup link over here. And this will open this page where you have all the instructions to install the Claude MCP, right? The first thing you want to do as part of this is make sure that you have the Claude desktop application downloaded and installed. So make sure to head to this link over here, claude.ai/download, and download the application for your platform. By default, very important, by default, what will be in white represents what your computer is using. So if you're on a Mac machine, it will highlight this one. If you're on a Windows ARM64, it will highlight this one. If you're on another kind of Windows machine, it might highlight this one. Just click the button that is white and download that one and install it, right? Once you have installed Claude, make sure, and let me just show you what I mean by that. Make sure to force quit Claude. So you want to go here and press quit, right? Like properly quit. Claude needs to be shut off. After you've done that, what you want to do is go and Google something called Node.js, right? If you've not heard of it, that's perfectly fine. Node.js is a way for something known as JavaScript, a programming language, to run on your computer and do things, So all these programming languages require what's known as an engine in order to run and execute code. So all the programming languages don't work on your computer by default. They need that engine to be there, and then they can only run if that engine is present. So there's another engine called UV that is for Python, and for JavaScript, it's typically Node.js. There are other ones, but these are the two most popular ones. UV is the most popular one for Python. Node.js is the most popular one for JavaScript, right? So you head over here, and just like we saw on what Claude did, it highlighted the one that you need. Node.js will also highlight the one that you need. So you'll end up on a page like this when you go here, nodejs.org/en, en for English, press install, and it will already pick the best suitable package for you. So now click over here, and this will download the Node.js package. Let me just show you what that means. I'm just going to download it to my downloads folder. I'm going to open that, and then it's going to ask for my permission to continue and ask me to install that. I don't know if I can make this any larger, but I hope you can see what's on my screen already. So once you do that, press continue, etc., continue, and you just need to press agree, and then this will start to install everything, right? Now, at some point, it will ask you for some default option. You can just select the default options. There's no customization that you need to make. Just keep it as the standard installation as ever. I'm not going to install it because mine is already installed, but you get the point of it, right? Now that you have the Claude desktop application installed and the Node.js JavaScript engine installed, you can now connect your Second Brain OS to Claude to have a fully functioning, powerful AI agent. Now for the next step, if you're a Windows user, you're going to press the Windows key and type in CMD. That will open up something known as PowerShell. It's an app that looks like this. It's got a black background and you can enter commands there. And if you're on a Mac, you want to press Spotlight, which is command space, type in terminal and press enter. And again, it will open something like this. Let me zoom in and show you what that looks like. Let me also press Control+ to zoom it really in, right? Now, this is the OG way of using a computer, right? At some point, computers didn't have a lot of these fancy UIs, and there weren't fancy apps either. So everything was done through a command. Let me show you what that means. So we've just installed Node. So you just want to type in node-v, and it will show you the version of Node, right? So similarly, you can use these commands in order to navigate your computer, open files, run code, etc. It's the OG way of using a computer. And anytime you're in a movie, a sci-fi movie or an action movie, this is what you see opening up and people just typing in code and running it. This is that exact same thing. Minor digression, but I thought it would be insightful. Anyway, what you're going to do is now head back to the Second Brain OS, the Claude MCP page, and I strongly recommend that you pick over here this one, option 1, right? And you want to copy this command over here, just like copy all the way from here to here, and press Control C or Command C. Go into your terminal and just paste it, right? And then press enter, right? That's it. It will now verify that you are indeed a Second Brain OS user, run the installation process, and update your Claude desktop to connect with the Second Brain OS so you can have your own very powerful AI agent running inside of Claude. I have a minor bias here. I strongly prefer Claude over ChatGPT because it's way more powerful, way more efficient, and as far as writing goes, the responses are far closer to what I like to see in my writing. It's nuanced, it's detailed and specific. As far as coding goes, both of them are at par. I would say Claude is a bit better even in that regard, but I strongly prefer Claude. The only con with Claude is that it's a desktop app, and so it runs on the desktop app, not on a website. But once you get used to the desktop app, I don't think you'll think twice about it. Anyway, now over here, once the installation is done, it will say installation is successful. Please quit Claude and restart the Claude app, and then you can start to ask it for whatever you want. Now, at this point, you can just quit the terminal. So you can either go here and quit terminal, or you can just press Command Q or whatever the relevant command is on your machine. So I'm just going to press Command Q. Now, the next step is simple. You just want to open up Claude. So I'm just going to go here, open up Claude. And this time, once Claude opens up, I'll show you exactly where all of your Second Brain OS tools live, right? So you're going to click this little icon over here. If you hover on it, it's going to say Search and Tools. And you're going to see at the bottom that all the external tools that you've added exist over here. So these are known as servers, or MCP servers to be exact, or Model Context Protocol servers, such as mine, the Second Brain OS server, right? If you click on it, it will show you all the tools that are available from that server. Just like we saw in the Custom GPT earlier, all these tools have been made available, right? Now, what you just want to do is make sure to enable all of these. I'm going to say the exact same thing that I did on the Custom GPT or ChatGPT platform. I'm going to say what workflows do I have access to? Right? And up to you what model you pick. Honestly speaking, Claude Sonnet 4 is fine. Opus is good for more heavy, more complex tasks like more complex coding or writing poetry or writing complex tweets or complex newsletters, more nuanced writing, etc. For now, I'm going to keep things simple. So I'm just going to say this. Personally, I love the UI because it shows me very transparently what information of mine is going to the secondary NOS server, right? And it's showing me the exact response as well that comes from the secondary NOS server. So what it's doing is it's asked my workflows and then it's returned all of these, right? So I'm going to say, okay, now for the rapid punch, Twitter hooks, get all the prompts. Excuse me, that is my son in the back. And here we go. And it's gotten all those prompts. As you'll already notice that it is reasonably faster, and I would argue it's oftentimes more intelligent than the base models of ChatGPT, even this standard model. If you go to Opus, that's even more insane, right? So now I'm just going to do the same thing we did with ChatGPT earlier. This, make sure to pause this, copy and go back into Claude and say, crawl this video and apply both prompts. And so I just really like this experience. It's showing me exactly what data is going and exactly what the response is, right? So this gives me peace of mind that I can see if something goes wrong, I can just be like, okay, here's where the problem occurred, and I have a way to resolve it myself, right? Let's see. What I thought would make me productive: the perfect note-taking app with all the features, a complex system with tags and folders, AI that could read my mind and organize everything automatically. What actually makes me productive? One simple capture method that works everywhere, zero friction between ID and storage, my context guiding AI, not the other way around. Everyone chases the first, but usually ends up in disappointment. Not bad, right? I would argue these tweets are already better than what you would get out of GPT, but again, that's a very subjective and taste-like matter, so you can see for yourself. Just like with the custom GPT, all of this happened really, really fast. And I don't know if you can sense it, but I'm getting really excited right now. So one message, second message, and third message. That is all it took for us to get this, right? And I will show you this in the next time. Then you can start posting this or pushing this to Notion or Airtable or whatever tool that you use to store your writing or wherever it is that you want to keep your content, right? And so you never have to worry about losing great content or great ideas. Honestly, I have the Notion integration. You should look into that. It's just so much better because it pushes it to Notion in a way that is formatted. And so the headings are there, the bullets are there, nothing breaks, right? So that saves me a ton of time because what I personally hate is when I copy paste from tools like ChatGPT or Claude into Notion. One, there's that friction of having two applications side by side and then copying, pasting, and then most importantly, the formatting thing. It's a pain in the ass, right? All of that is taken care of with the Notion integration because when you get the Notion integration, you get the second brainOS Notion template. And that shows you, that gives you a complete end-to-end workflow from taking rough ideas from audience research to fully blown published content, right? So it gives you every step of the way. Anyway, that's my preference as to how I do it. And if you subscribe to that, you will get that and you will really enjoy it. I would strongly recommend it. So long story short, this is the power of having an AI agent right on top of your laptop, desktop. I prefer Claude. You can do GPT, you can do Claude, you do whatever works and suits you best. I know I sound so excited, but I hope you really enjoy this. And hopefully you will have 2 to 3 workflows right now to play with. And obviously you can go to the workflow marketplace, get more, or purchase an AI agent, which brings you more workflows, or subscribe to my coaching program, whatever. In any case, I think the more workflows you accumulate, the stronger your systems will be. And the better systems you have, the more scalable you will be. So I'm going to digress for 1 second. If you intend to open up an agency or build a writing business or build a coding business, whatever kind of business you build, good systems are important. And good systems are all about having the workflows in place. Then you can bring in people who are not the most skilled and still run those workflows and get the same results, right? More on this later, but I hope you are as excited as I am to have Claude MCP or OpenAI Custom GPTs be your AI agents without paying for another subscription. Now, my absolute favorite way for creating and managing content at scale, especially when I'm using AI, is with Notion. For that, I've made the dedicated Notion Second Brain OS interface. You get a complete Notion template which has everything to do with all the content workflows. It has them end to end, planned out, and thoroughly vetted. This means you can get straight into content creation across all of your platforms. That dream of being omnipresent across X, LinkedIn, YouTube, your newsletter, your emails, all of that can finally happen because everything will easily and smoothly be in one place. For this, the big benefit that you have compared to Airtable or Google Sheets is that it's writing friendly. Notion by default was made with writers in mind. So you have slash commands, you have easy to edit interfaces, you have comments, you have everything that Google Docs would essentially offer, but a way better way of managing it. Now, I don't want to bore you, so let's get straight into it. Over here, I'm going to pick Claude Opus because I'm going to be pushing a lot of ideas. So I'm going to say, hey, could you push some dummy ideas to my content, to my knowledge? I'd just like to try it. Important thing, when you upgrade to the Notion second brain OS integration, you get two new actions. One is called add to my knowledge. The other one is called search my knowledge. Now, as it adds them or pushes them from here, they will immediately start to appear on the right side over here in Notion in the active list. So the first idea it's pushed is the Pomodoro technique. And the next idea is plant-based protein sources. Of course, keep in mind, these are just random ideas that I've asked to push. These aren't my ideas. One important thing to note, you'll see that it has neatly formatted everything. You can see they were indeed created by the second brain OS or via the second brain OS to be more precise, and tags were added as well. So while tags don't really matter, it's just a nice to have, which is over here, right? Now, when you get content landed inside of this interface, you have two options. Either you want to drag it to the calendar and assign it to yourself, right? Or you want to archive it. If you archive it, you'll see that it automatically disappears from the calendar and it lands in what is known as the archive list over here. So that is a very neat thing because it was the minimal number of clicks that you need to manage or organize your content ideas. If I want to take it back from the archive list into the active list, all I have to do is drag it to the calendar. So as soon as I drag it, it will be back in the active list. Now let's just add a few more ideas over here in the calendar and we can just like move it through. The next thing you can do in the calendar is going to move them ahead and also stretch them. So you don't necessarily have to have them locked to a 1 day deadline, but you can have them to 2-3 days, whatever you like. So let's move this here and we have 2-day deadlines for all of these, the vertical gardening ideas, plant-based protein sources, and the Pomodoro technique. With that, you are pretty much done with the plan and pick phase. And now it's time to start to work on these ideas, right? Now, of course, sometimes we can all feel a little bit overloaded when there is too much work on our plate. So I've added the click to archive button over here as well so that it gets completely removed from your work view. Let me show you what this looks like. Say that you have decided that you want to work on the plant-based protein sources for sure, and you also want to work on the vertical gardening ideas, but you feel like you don't have the space to work on the Pomodoro technique idea or tweet or whatever it is for today. So all you have to do is click to archive and it's disappeared from this view. And then you can start to move these forward as you write or record any of these ideas. So the first thing in content is obviously write the hook, then you write the body, and then you record or draft the write-up, right? Once you are done with the drafting stage, it is in a much better position and way closer to publishing. From here, what you want to do is edit your recording or edit your draft. That's a very typical phase. So that's just like the recording I'm doing right now. I would, of course, have to edit it to cut the uhs, whatever I don't like or whatever needs to be added. So that's when something goes into the edit phase. And interestingly, if something on this stage still feels that you want to archive it, you still can. I wouldn't, but if you want to, you can. And then you finally move it to ready to publish. This means it's completely clear from your plate, right? And if you go back over here, it's clear from here. If you go back over here, it's still in the active list because it is still active. It hasn't been completed, right? So you're still working on it. Therefore, it's active, right? But over here, now you have a clean board because you just have one idea to work on. So now we can drag it here, here, here. And of course, you don't have to linearly drag things. You can hop between these cards as well. Do what you like is best. So I can just like hop from here to here, and then obviously hop from here to here as well. Now I have two ideas that are ready to publish. And you can see how fast we're actually moving and how organized we're staying at the same time. And the next thing I want to do is at the ready to publish stage, I want to make a decision as to where these ideas need to be published. So for example, over here, I'm going to go into platforms. Like first, I'm going to click on it, then go into platforms. And then I'm going to select all the platforms where I would like to publish this. So I'm publishing to Facebook, Instagram, and let's say it's a short, right? And I am saying that the media type is a video. It's a short video, right? So this makes things very, very cohesive, right? So you have a short video being published to Facebook, Instagram, which is about plant-based protein sources. Its tags are nutrition, health, plant-based protein, whatever. And this is your content, and this is whatever it is that you said in the video or whatever you've written. Excuse me. And now with that, we can then go ahead and take this content and publish it to whatever socials, Facebook and Instagram in this case. And then once you've done publishing it, we can move it to the post-it. Now, over here, when we go into track progress, we can see on the calendar that this is what's moving through the calendar, right? And so this has been posted, but this is ready to publish. And because this is ready to publish, I think I should work on it. So I should click here and see that, okay, maybe this one's going to be an email, and it's also going to be a newsletter. Sorry, it's going to be a newsletter, and it's going to go on the platforms Medium, and it will also go potentially to Twitter as a set of threads. So a newsletter that's broken down into threads and then posted to Twitter. And then the media type is obviously text because it is a newsletter, and it may not necessarily have a video. And so I'm just done with this, and I'm going to go back here and move it to posted. So now I can see that on my calendar, I have 2 things that were posted. And you'll see that on this calendar, you can't drag things because the date is locked, obviously, the day you posted it. So if you publish it today, then you can't change the date to tomorrow or day before. So that's a good accountability in place for there. And so you have the progress calendar, and you also have the progress gallery. So if you just want to have a high level view of what it is that you've done, what it is that you've completed, you can go to the gallery view. I personally like the gallery view more than the calendar because I can just see everything. I can see that I worked on it in these deadlines, and I completed it on the 28th of June, and I was to work on it on these dates, and everything is just like more neat for me in the gallery. But a lot of people prefer the calendar, so you do whatever works best for you, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. And of course, if you want a table view, all you have to do is click here and go into notes, and you'll see a nice table view, right? Over here, I've also created an additional filtered table. So you click on overview, and this gives you the most important fields. So you can see in one glance, let me see if I can stretch my screen a bit more, maybe a little bit more too. You can see that in one glance, everything is over here. And the idea that we archived has the archive status. And if you want to archive another idea over here, you can archive that too, right? And this table view also helps you have a mid to low level glance of what it is and where things are, right? So now quickly, I want to show you how these updates have also been reflected in all the other places across the content system. So let's go back. Let's go into plan and pick over here. And we can see that in the active list, everything is gone. And in the archive list, we have the 2 ideas that we archived. Our calendar from here in the plan and pick is also clean now. And then we can also go into the create view over here. And we can see there's nothing in the create view because we moved it through all those stages. And in the edit and publish view, things are still in the post view. As the days go by, for example, if it's tomorrow or a couple of days later, then these will also start to get removed from the post view because you want to be seeing what's fresh and what's recently completed. And then finally, in the calendar, things stick in the calendar though. In the calendar and the gallery, everything sticks. So even if it's a couple of months from now, everything stays within that calendar because it's a way to look back at your progress. So in the calendar, things are there where they were, and also in the progress gallery, they're also where they were. With that, we now have a complete content system that is done for you. No fuss, no hassle. Everything just works out of the box. It's way better than Zapier with Google Sheets or Zapier with any other tool, or Airtable as well, because in this case, instead of having a monthly subscription the way you do with Zapier or Airtable, you have a one-time purchase. Now, the one-time purchase gives you a set of credits. These are AI credits that allow AI to send data to Notion, right? What happens is that when these credits run out, there is no subscription. There is no monthly charge, there is no annual charge, and it's completely pay as you go. You simply go and top up your credits as per your needs, and you continue to use the system the way you would normally. This way, you're not locked in. You have so much freedom. So if you end up not using it, no problem. There's no annual fee. There's no monthly fee. You can just discard it. And if you use it, then you pay only for what you're using instead of paying too much every time. Because with Zapier and Airtable, what also happens is you have all this excess that hasn't been used, and then you're still paying for it. Over here, it's completely pay as you go. So that's all about the Notion secondary OS. And this is my personal favorite. Of course, I'm biased, but this is the way I create content. So if you want to create content at scale the way I do, this is the exact system I use. If you're watching this, you're already at the pro level. You know how to ask ChatGPT or Claude to read an article for you or watch a YouTube video using the crawl text action. You also know how to ask it to turn it into a thread, a tweet, a newsletter, or whatever it is that you're after using the run prompt chain action. Now you need the missing piece, which allows you to take all the content you've created, move them outside of the chats into a table-like interface. This can be Google Sheets, this can be Airtable, this can be anything that you want it to be. I'll show you 2 to 3 different methods in order of worst and most expensive to best and most sustainable and least expensive over time. Now, the first method is Zapier. It is expensive, but it works. So let me show you how that works. First, you want to head over to zapier.com and sign up. Once you've signed up, you will land in a place like this. Over here, look for the plus icon or the create button. Click on that and click on Zaps. Now, once you're here, remember that all automations essentially have 2 moving parts, or 2 large moving parts. One is a trigger, second is the action. A trigger means what will start this automation, and an action is what will this automation do. Let me repeat. A trigger is what will start this automation, and an action is what will this automation do, right? Now, click on trigger, and over here you want to type in webhook. There's nothing to worry about. Don't get afraid. It's very straightforward. Even if you've not used no code, low code, or code before, I will walk you through the process, right? Once you click the webhook trigger, over here choose the trigger event. Select the first one, catch hook. Make sure not to select the second one, catch raw hook. That's a very common mistake. So first one, catch hook. Press continue. Leave this one empty. Don't touch it. Press continue. And over here, you'll get a link. Make sure to copy this link. Now, very briefly, I want to tell you what a webhook means in this context. A webhook serves as a way for ChatGPT or Claude to send information outside to any external system, right? That can be Google Sheets, that can be Airtable, that can be Notion, that can be anything, right? In this case, the webhook is waiting for Claude or ChatGPT, is listening for Claude or ChatGPT to send any notification, right? This can be content, this can be anything else, this can be whatever you want. As soon as it receives that request, that hello or that content, it then takes an action. That action can be added to a Google Sheet, added to an Airtable, added to Notion, added to whatever you like. That is the basic understanding of what a webhook is, and that's really what's important for now. So you want to take this webhook URL and press copy, click on update profile. Over here, press Control F or Command F and type content_webhook_URL, look for the field and paste it, and then press update. Very important, you will need to upload a profile picture, your name, and add your phone number, your real one, so that you have a nice dashboard experience over here in the second Brain OS. And only then can you click update. So click update, and we're good to go. Now from here, you want to head to Claude, and then start a new chat and say, hey, can you send a name and description to my webhook? Do make sure that before you press enter, that this tool is indeed enabled. It probably is because we did it earlier, but just to be on the safe side. And you can select whatever model. All of them work because it's straightforward. In fact, let me show you that will work with a slightly less intelligent model by just asking it to do so. Any random values will do. And now it sent that data. It sent the name Alex Martinez. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And something about their job description, whatever it was. Now we want to head here and we can press test trigger and we'll see that this data will have been received. So Alex Martinez and whatever it is, right? Let's do just one more. Excellent. One more. And I'll show you how that works in real time by staying over here. And we can just press find new records, and in a moment's time, this second record should appear. It's here. Maya Chen, an enthusiastic data scientist who loves uncovering insights from complex data sets, etc., etc. Okay. Now here you can connect it to virtually any app that you like. So I'm going to go for Google Sheets to keep things really simple, because if you are using Zapier, I'm going to assume most likely that you want to use it with Google Sheets. Don't worry. The dedicated Airtable one is coming up, and then the Notion one is last, right? And so it gets better because we won't be using Zapier, because Zapier for Airtable or Google, it gets better, and I'm saving them for later because we won't be using Zapier for Airtable and we won't be using Zapier for Notion either. So for Airtable, I will show you the Airtable's built-in solution, and for Notion, I'll give you the Notion second brainOS integration, which is just way better and way more cost-effective than all the options. Anyway, we're just going to click over here, and we're going to type create spreadsheet row, and we're going to press sign in to account. We're going to have to allow Zapier to connect to our Google Sheets. So you're going to have to ask it, allow all of these. See, edit, create, and delete all of your Google Drive files. See, edit, create, delete all of your Google spreadsheets. Yes, I know that can be scary, but it is what it is, and those are the permissions that it needs to work with your Google Sheets. Then from here, you want to go into Google Sheets. So we'll say docs.google.com, or was it drive.google.com? Actually, let's just go to Drive. And then from there, we can probably create a Google Sheet. Yeah, so I think I can just press here and press blank spreadsheet, new, and here and blank spreadsheet, right? Let's just close this. And over here, I can just add two columns called name and description. And we can just call this spreadsheet content. I think that's good to go. And over here, I'll come back, press continue. And now it's going to ask me to pick my Google Drive, then pick the spreadsheet. In this case, I'm picking this one called content. This is a demo account, so it only has one spreadsheet anyway, so we're lucky that way. And over here, there's this thing called sheets within a spreadsheet, so you can just pick that. It's called sheet 1, so I'm just going to pick sheet 1 over here. Sheet 1, use time zone setup on spreadsheets, format date values. That's not necessary. And it's automatically pick the columns from that spreadsheet, so I can just add the name and I can just add the description, right? And we are good to go, right? So we're just going to test step, and here we go. We have the name and description from that latest record over here, right? We can do one more test. This time we'll pick the first record, which had Alex Martinez. So we'll press record A or request A, continue. And this time I just have to press continue because everything is set up, it's working, continue, and retest step. And so you'll see that Alex Martinez has also landed in this Google Sheet. And so over here, honestly, it's very straightforward. Sure, you can look at tutorials for whatever tool or app that you want to use. Don't worry about Airtable or Notion, that's coming up in this video. For all the other tools, it's a fairly similar process, and I think you'll learn more just by playing with Zapier should you want to. The problem with Zapier, as I mentioned earlier, is that it's expensive. So on the free plan, you will get 100 automations, 100 tasks to be clear. And the other problem with Zapier is that if you want more, then you will have to pay a monthly subscription, and there's no pay-as-you-go plan. So there's no like, if I pay this, if I use this much, I pay this much. There is something called an overage in Zapier. So what that means is that if you go beyond your monthly plan, I think the $20 or $25 plan gives you 750 tasks. So if you go beyond that, then they charge you on a per task basis for whatever you've gone, and that's at a bit more, at an even pricier rate. So just something to keep in mind. The next method uses Airtable. And so you can send data directly from Claude or ChatGPT into Airtable. You don't need a middleman like Zapier or Make.com or anything in the middle, because Airtable provides a webhook feature by itself. The only con is that Airtable requires you to be on a monthly paid plan. So you need to be on minimum at the Teams plan, which comes monthly to $24, and that gives you 25,000 automations. I will say this, if you're going to use Zapier, it's way better to use Airtable instead, because it's way more cost effective. Zapier will only give you 750 automations or 750 tasks for around about the same price. I think that's 25, I'm not sure. But this is way more competitive. The only con is that it requires a bit more setup. I've done the hard work and I'll show you how to go about it. So first you want to do is make sure to head into a base in Airtable, right? And if you don't know what a base is, essentially what happens in Airtable is the first thing at the top level, you have workspaces. And inside workspaces, you create a base. And a base is essentially a collection of tables. It's short for database, right? So here I've created a dummy database called Monetization Lab. And here what I'm going to do is create a new table, and I'm going to call it content. Right? The first thing you want to do in this new table is delete all the fields. And keep in mind, you won't be able to delete the first field. So what you want to do is rename it. And this is the best practice in terms of using Airtable. Rename it to ID and select auto number over here. Sorry, auto number. Yeah. Once you're done, you can clear all of these dummy records and then add a name field. So you want to type in long text over here and just name this field to name. And then you want to type in long text again and add a description field. Right. We're done with that. Now, the hard work I've done for you. So you want to head over to automations, and over here at the bottom under create, you want to press create automation. Right. As soon as you do, this will appear. And then you want to click this rectangular box which says add trigger and go over here when webhook is received. And voila, you have a webhook URL just the same way you found in Zapier. Then you want to head over to your second Brain OS dashboard and profile. And over here, you want to make sure to paste your brand new webhook URL. Again, the field was content_webhook_URL. You want to paste that and press update. Once you've made this update, you can head to Claude. We can start a new chat and say, can you send a dummy name and description to my webhook? I'm just going to choose a slightly less intelligent model and press search. Same, press send, same as before. And then you want to head back to Airtable and you'll see that this data has arrived. So it was John Smith and whatever, right? Now you want to press add advanced logic or action. Over here, you want to press run script. And once you're here, you want to take the script that I have given you over here. Where is it? Here it is. Yes. And you want to copy all of this. Just press the copy button over here. You want to go here and just erase whatever's there and paste it. Now, the next steps are really important. First, you want to click over here and create and add an input variable. The first input variable you're going to add is called table, and make sure to put in the table name that you just created. So we created content, and I'm going to add the table name content here because the table we created was called content, right? Now you want to add a name field over here. And so you want to press the add input variable button again and type name, but this time you'll press plus. And over here, you will click into the data, press body, data, name, right? And over here, you will go and type in description. You'll add another input variable, click the plus icon again, body, data, description, right? And now you can press test. Everything should run smoothly because I've done all the hard work for you. It will create whatever records you send to it, right? Then you want to press finish editing. You can rename this to something like from Claude or AI to content workflow, whatever you want to call it, right? And just switch it on. Now let's test this. Let's check the data. If the data has arrived, the data has indeed arrived. I don't know if there's a way to show the full value of the column over here in Airtable by wrapping it, but the easier general way is just expand cell and see that everything is over here, software engineer with 5 years experience, etc., etc., etc. And now we can head to Claude. Let me just do a split screen with Claude actually. And let me show you the magic of this. Where is Claude? Here it is. And let's do a split screen with Claude. On the left, Airtable on the right. Excuse me. Great. Now create 10 records. Now send 10 records one by one. Right. Now what it's going to do, and let me expand the view over here in Airtable, is that it will keep sending the data to Airtable, right? And you can see that on the right, our content starts appearing inside of Airtable. As I mentioned, this is a different way of doing things, but it works really well. It works really well because it's all sorted out. The main thing over here was the script, but keep in mind, if you want to go for this method, you will have to pay $4 on the monthly plan, $20 on the annual plan. If you are going to go for it, start with the monthly, obviously, and then upgrade to the annual plan should you want. So I'm going to go into 11 Labs, click on Conversational AI over here, Agents. I'm going to click on plus, blank template, just call this Second Brain OS Test, enter, and go into the next. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Over here, there's just this very, very tiny nuance that you have to do. You have to add a secret over here, which is your API key. So I am going to click on search my knowledge because I want people to call and be able to ask me questions almost as if I was responding to them. So I am just going to call this one a very simple name. I'm going to call this API key. You can call it whatever you want, but I'm just going to call it that. And now I will go into tools, and this will seem very, very familiar by this point and also very easy. So you have the name, the description, the method, the URL. Excuse me. You have the headers, which specifies the authorization, i.e. your API key, and the request body. That's it. That's all you have to do. Sorry, the body parameters, which specifies the request body. That's all. So I'm going to show you how easy it is. It is a very simple copy paste process. Search my knowledge, enter the name, description. I can just say a simple connection to my knowledge or a simple connection to my knowledge. And I'm just going to select post over here in the method, and the URL is here. And then I will get into the authorization headers, add header, authorization over here, make sure that secret is pressed and select the API key that we added earlier. And then head down here, body parameters, press enable and press add properties. And then we can just go here. We can just be like query, and we can just make sure this is set to LLM prompt for pretty much all of your body parameters. And you can just say the user's question or message, word for word. Okay. And the next one, say number of search results. You can say takes values low, medium, high, and very high. Very high. Prefer to always use low for fast responses to the user, right? And then add property. Search type, which supports basic and advanced. Prefer basic for speed. And we are pretty much done. I think it's just nice to give a description here because I think they have made this feel mandatory. Please pass the user's question or message in the query as it is, and prefer a value low for the number of search results. Now I'm just going to press add tool so that it's added, and I'm going to make sure to save because this is a big problem with 11 Labs, that this save button often just gets hidden and you forget about it. Now this AI agent can search my knowledge. So I'm just going to make a few neat changes to make sure that it operates neatly. I'm going to make sure the language is English, additional languages, first message, system prompt, your helpful assistant that searches my knowledge and answers the user's question or responds to their message. Never respond without using my knowledge. Right, and LLM, I want to select a good LLM. I think Gemini 2.0 Flash is a pretty good one. So let's test it. I've been meaning to try it anyway. Save. We are good to go. Now I'm going to test this AI agent, and I am going to ask it about the pricing of the Second Brain OS and about that thing about linking your thinking. All right, let's make this call. Hey, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How can I assist you today?
Cool. Tell me what actions you have access to.
I can search my knowledge to provide informative responses to your questions, and I can also end the conversation when it's appropriate. If you have any questions or need help with something, feel free to ask.
So can you tell me about the pricing of the Second Brain OS and what do I get with the different pricing plans?
The Second Brain OS offers a pricing plan where you can get lifetime access for $197. This includes a variety of integrations such as Notion, Todoist, and GitHub, allowing you to capture and organize your ideas efficiently. Additionally, you have access to unlimited searches and the ability to add content to your Second Brain OS during conversations. There's also a special offer for 1 year of unlimited access and a one-on-one call for $97 to guide you through the setup process. Prices are expected to increase soon, so it's a good time to consider if this solution fits your needs. Is there anything else you would like to know about the Second Brain OS?
What are some common pitfalls or traps that people fall into when using apps like Obsidian and Notion?
Common pitfalls when using apps like Obsidian and Notion include spending excessive time organizing and linking information instead of focusing on content creation. Users often fall into the filling trap, where they feel compelled to categorize every piece of information meticulously, leading to a complex and cumbersome system. This can result in a false sense of productivity, as users become more focused on maintaining the system rather than utilizing the information effectively. Additionally, the sunk cost fallacy can make it difficult for users to let go of these systems, as they have invested a significant amount of time and effort into building them. Would you like to know more about how to avoid these pitfalls or anything else?
I'm good. It was a pleasure speaking to you. Bye now. And as you saw, we built a voice agent connected to our knowledge in what took us a matter of minutes. There was no developer involved. There was no AI automation consultant involved. There was no one involved except the Second Brain OS platform. And all we had to do was copy, paste, go, copy, paste, go. A similar familiar process as we did in init and as we did with the Custom GPT. So the Second Brain OS puts you at the forefront, enabling you to build and deploy AI agents in record time. Let me show you why I love Claude Desktop so much. Claude's Model Context Protocol provides a standard way for large language model and artificial intelligence to interact with tools, resources, and prompts, which makes our life and job a lot easy, which means it allows us to build some really powerful AI agents that run directly inside the Claude Desktop application. Now, this is great because with the Second Brain OS desktop application, all the configurations are done for you. As soon as you buy an action or a workflow on the Second Brain OS marketplace, your Claude Desktop is updated in real time immediately. All you have to do is hit refresh. The next great thing about Claude's Desktop is that it takes care of all the interface and UI layer. Instead of you going out to build your own interface or your own app, you don't have to do that. Claude's Desktop is there. It's done all the hard work for you. People try to use Slack as an interface using other large language models like DeepSeek or Gemini, etc. But the problem with all those interfaces is that a lot of work comes down to you and a lot of cost comes to you. If you're not technically competent, you will have to rely on a developer, and that can be very expensive. And the problem with templates is that they always do have some limitations. Those templates were never made by predicting your requirements. They were made with certain things that they had in mind. Claude is learning from users in real time and updating its desktop app. OpenAI's custom GPTs don't even come near the Claude desktop experience. And the reason for that is simple. OpenAI does not give you its flagship models or even its slightly better models in the custom GPT interface. You're given the GPT-4 Turbo, which is a much older model. And in fact, truth be told, it's a slightly updated, improved version of GPT 3.5 Turbo, which we all remember wasn't so great. Claude gives you its best model and even allows you to switch models, which means you can have a brilliant AI agent experience, whether it's for yourself or whether it's for a client that you're serving. With that, we're going to do something harder with Claude. We're going to get it to write Twitter threads, which are actually a hard task for a large language model to do. Of course, it can generate some boilerplate LinkedIn and Twitter content, but really good, crisp content is hard. And we're going to do this with what's known as a prompt chain. A prompt chain is a series of prompts, engineered ones, that occur in a sequence. Let me show you how that works. It's a fully automated process with the Second Brain OS. So I'm going to say, hey, what workflows do I have access to? I didn't even have to tell it which action to call. It knows intuitively. That's how good this model is. Now I'm going to ask it to get the prompts. And it's retrieving both prompts. Now apply these prompts to this article type video. At this point, it's fetching the text, and then it's going to apply that exact workflow, those prompt chains, to that text. Now, what I thought would make me successful in AI: advanced coding knowledge, a computer science degree, $10,000 plus in specialized courses. What actually leads to AI success? Picking the right niche I'm passionate about, offering AI services to recently funded startups, starting with ready-made tools like 11 Labs and Crew.ai. That is a very good, very relevant, very up-to-date tweet. Now, next one. Feeling stuck watching the AI gold rush pass you by? Pick one niche you're passionate about. No complex coding required, that's my mantra. No expensive degrees needed, no technical background necessary. Just you, your industry knowledge, and your willingness to learn. That is also a really good tweet. And this is a hard thing for an LLM to do because they end up writing very shitty content. Claude doesn't, by the way, especially when you give it good context and give it a good workflow. Now, Twitter hook number 3. 5 hacks for making money with AI in 2025. Build AI agents for specific business tasks. Offer multilingual content translation services. Turn blogs into AI voiced podcasts, create AI data visualizations that go viral, build websites with AI tools for new businesses. Turns out the only real AI business hacks aren't really hacks at all. That is a really, really good tweet. You won't get this quality from a custom GPT. And when it comes to using all those other models, you will have to do so much setup, like connecting Slack to a large language model and then going through the nuances and then setting that up. I'm working on that to make that process easy. But I know even right now that this will still beat that. This will still be so much better. Because Claude gives you all this power for $20 a month, which is far less than using your API key with all these other large language models. That can become very costly. Your own interface costs, relying on a developer, and then your API key costs, it can become such a hassle. But with Claude's desktop experience, it's also good.